Welcome, cousins, to another episode of Honest Talk About Women, where you'll learn tips, tricks, and strategies on how to navigate the minefields of dating and relationships. Please click on the like button and also subscribe and comment in the comment section. This helps the YouTube algorithm. If you'd like to share a story with viewers, you can contact me on my email address, which is listed below. Today's story is about retail therapy and how some females, not all females, but some females love to shop, and it's usually on someone else's account. This is why it's crucial, guys, that when you start dating a woman, you work out whether they are good with money. And when I talk about good with money, they can stretch $1 or they're frugal. I'm not saying that you want someone that's a tight ass, but someone that is practical and sensible and knows how to handle money. That's the type of woman you want. So there are some females that just love to shop, and it's usually on someone else's account, someone else's expense. And I'm talking about some females that just love to shop until they drop. They spend 3, 4, 5 hours at the shopping mall and come home with a whole lot of useless items that you don't need in both hands with shopping bags. So I can talk about this from personal experience. I was previously in a relationship where I had a person who loved retail shopping and quite often brought a whole lot of stuff that I thought was a complete waste of money. He didn't need it. So one day I remember coming home from work, had worked like a 12-hour day. I was exhausted, got home, got to the fridge, grabbed a drink and sat in my most comfortable chair in the lounge and sunk into the chair. And it's just, my mind was racing, all the things that happened that day, emails I've got to do in the evening, things I've got to get back to the next day to keep things flowing, and just the momentum was just going. And I was exhausted. I remember being exhausted and just wanting to doze off in that chair, and I was sort of going in and out of consciousness, dozing a little bit. I knew I had to get up soon. We're going to make dinner together. And then I hear the garage door go, and there's only one other person that could be, and that was the person I was in a relationship with. And she comes upstairs, and she has on both hands 3 or 4 shopping bags, and she puts them on the kitchen island, and with a smile, and looks at me. And I make a flippant remark. Oh, you've been exercising your wrist, have you, honey? And all of a sudden, that smile just disappears from her face. And I can see the claws just coming straight out. And she goes, oh, are you in one of your cunt moods? And I thought, wow. And then she goes into the kitchen, and you hear the drawer rattling. And she's getting out one of the sharpest knives. And I don't know what she's going to do with it. And I got the hell out of that room at the back of the house. And she just came after me, saw I'd gone out in the back lawn. She had locked the doors. And I thought, it's no good making a scene out of this, banging on the doors. Let me in. She'll be gone soon. There's other ways to get into the house. So 15, 20 minutes later, she'd left the kitchen and she'd gone to our bedroom. And so I managed to get back into the house. There's plenty of ways to get back into the house. Got back into the house, got my drink, and decided to go to a room and have a lie down. I was just buggered before we get into the kitchen and make something, if she still wanted to make something with me. I was in the room lying down, and time was ticking by. I was on my phone. I was texting people, checking emails, checking the news events, and my mind was racing through, but I was also very, very tired. So some time went on, and then all of a sudden I heard the door creak. And who was it that came in? It was the lady I was in a relationship with. She came in, and she lay on top of me. And she was quite suggestive, and started to unbutton my clothes. And before you knew it, you're having sex right there on the spot. And she was saying throughout, you don't know how much I love you, and I'll be devastated if anything happened to you. And right then, I just thought, what the hell is this person? She was so aggressive, so wanting to kill me 1 to 2 hours ago, and now she's in playful mode and lovemaking mode. She's a real Jekyll and Hyde. Women are very, very cunning, very crafty. They know when they're onto a good wicket, and they know when they've overplayed their hand and how to get back into your good books. But that's not a satisfactory relationship, and it's not a win-win. So my advice to guys is to be very mindful of who you're partnering up with. And one of the key attributes after you've passed the physical test in terms of you're attracted to them is the way they handle money. Will they handle money carefully, and they're good at it, and can they stretch a dollar? You don't want people who just spend money nilly-willy like a drunk soldier, or they can sniff you as an ATM machine, and they're very happy to spend your money in every other pot of gold that you've got and built up over the years. So that's a key component in when selecting a partner or a woman to run with for the rest of your life. So it's quite interesting because you get with other guys and you hear about similar stories. And what was a common occurrence with a lot of friends that I had was when they separated from their wives, the credit card bill was just raked up immediately. So my advice, guys, is that when you have a serious conversation with a wife or partner and you want to split up, you need to draw the line in the sand and say, as from this date onwards, it's own accounts. Your expenses, you pay for them. Until then it was joint, but now it's individual, and you're not obligated to subsidize her lifestyle, and vice versa. She's not obligated to subsidize your lifestyle. So it's quite interesting talking to friends because they've had very similar experiences in terms of separation. I didn't necessarily have this experience, but there were quite a few guys who I'd spoken to who were a little bit lackadaisical in terms of the financial separation, and just let things casually evolve. So when it was time for he to move out of the house, or for her to move out of the house, she went on a shopping spree and raked up quite a significant amount of money on the credit card. And it wasn't uncommon to hear guys saying, wow, I ended up paying $20,000 to $25,000 on the joint credit card on the final month we were together. And you ask, your friend, what the hell were those purchases? And they come back and say, oh, they're just usual household items, cosmetics, and other items that they stockpiled up. Because they knew they were going out onto a new frontier where they'd be paying their own bills, and they decided to take a stockpile of items purchased from the previous relationship, which I find incredible. But it's not uncommon, guys. You talk amongst other people, and it's not common at all, not uncommon at all. So my advice in terms of women, if for those young guys who are out there dating, you've got to find someone who is good with money, and they don't waste money, because it's nothing worse than working really, really hard and having money come in the door on one side of the house, and then on the other side of the house, all the money going out again through purchases you don't even need. And I'm talking about 3 or 4 toasters, or 3 or 4 kettles, or upgrading to the latest Wi-Fi kettle. You don't need a lot of that sort of stuff. You got to keep things simple and also almost minimalistic, which is something that is to be followed, because an uncluttered house, uncluttered mind. And there's nothing worse than being in a relationship where someone just absolutely spends all the money and loves to clutter up the house. You just don't want that. So that's the topic today, is retail therapy and women that love to exercise their wrist, usually at someone else's expense. Again, I'm not saying all females like this. I'm just saying that there's certainly a group of females that love to shop. And if you ever go to the shopping mall, it's never 50-50 male-female. It's always slanted towards the female. There's so many females that love to shop. Okay, so that's today's session. If you have a story you want to share with viewers, please contact me below. Please press the like button, subscribe, and comment in the comment section. Until next time, take care.